Hello, my name is James Egert and I lead our National Tax Assurance and Risk Management team. I'm delighted to be able to provide this demo of our Tax Operations Maturity Model, or TOMM, which will take probably about 3 or 4 minutes. This is a global tool that we've developed over the last few years, and essentially what it is a simple to use diagnostic and benchmarking tool based around international principles like COSO to assess the relative maturity of a business's tax operations. Essentially, it's a combination of a tax risk tool as well as a maturity model, and it's there to identify the strengths and any gaps in your tax operating and control framework. It is driven by the completion of an online tax operations assessment, which is essentially probably around 80 to 100 multiple choice questionnaires, covering all aspects of your tax operations from governance to risk management, tax compliance, focusing on corporate tax, employment taxes, transfer pricing, indirect taxes, customs, excise, etc. And also looking at things like commercial substance risk, or perhaps your tax profile and reputation. It covers all countries, and so what we'll see shortly is that we have different versions for different jurisdictions. The questions are generally designed to be answered by tax specialists, but also people in finance without a tax background. And as you'll see already, we have access, which is via an online portal, our BDO Global portal, which can be sent to anyone in your business. And at the moment, we've got versions for multiple jurisdictions from UK to Germany to Australia, Netherlands, Switzerland, etc. We try to make the questions pretty similar because we like to do comparisons, but obviously, for example, for the US, there'll be questions on sales and use tax, state tax, etc. So in this demo, I'm going to click on the UK, and initially it gives you some background about what it does and what the 5 levels of maturity are. So based on the answers to the questions, the business will be assessed in terms of the tax operations as from undeveloped to optimized. A lot of businesses sort of falling within level 2 or level 3 realistically. So in this example here, I'll have read the background and I'll call myself test. And I will start the survey, and immediately it jumps into section 1, which looks at tax strategy, tone from the top, and there are various questions. So for example, do you have a tax mission statement? Maybe you do. How do you define the role of tax in your organization? Well, here I'm going to say that you have dedicated resource and you focus not just on compliance, but value-add activities. Question 3, how often is tax on the board agenda? Well, say twice a year. And do people who have responsibility for tax attend non-business or strategic planning meetings? Maybe they do. The next section here is on tax governance and risk management. I won't go through it all, but it looks at accountabilities, responsibilities, and etc., etc. One that I completed earlier, I jumped already now to questions on capabilities and people and job descriptions, and there'll be various other questions around corporate tax, indirect taxes, looking at some tax technical areas. There are also some open narrative questions as well, which are quite important. So what happens when the questionnaire is completed? Well, there is some weighting behind it, some methodology behind it, and essentially what it provides is an immediate output like this. So depending on the answers to the questions, what you'll have is percentage, or actually more of a sort of where it falls between level 1 and level 5 for each of these factors. And you'll get an overall rating as well. So for this particular business, and the scores are made up here, the scores for corporate tax are low, making probably insinuating a little bit that the governance around the tax return process isn't as robust as it should be. And there's some questions around employment taxes there as well. And in the UK, for this questionnaire, if you fall within it, you have the option of ticking the SAO questionnaire box, and it will give you an overview of that as well. So what this is designed to do is to give that instant snapshot. One of the things I would like to add as well is that the questionnaire also has the capability of being customized for your business. So most organizations choose to take the off-the-shelf version, but if you want to review the questions and update them and make them more relevant for you and your business, you can do. The other thing I would like to show, as I'll go back to here, is that if you have a global business, this is an opportunity to do a snapshot of how you compare across various entities or jurisdictions. It doesn't need to be Belgium, Ireland, Singapore. It could be entity 1, entity 2, entity 3, etc. And what we've got here is an analysis of where there are comparisons. So, for example, most of the jurisdictions are quite strong on tax risk management and governance, probably because of the tone from the top. But there may be some weaknesses around technology, tax resources, capabilities, and tech that you can see on the horizontal line. You can also see that Singapore, on the answers provided by them, of course, believe that they're quite strong, although the US think there's some gaps which are red and amber. And of course, based on the questionnaires, when you see them, you'll get the answers, you get this snapshot, and you'll be able to tell immediately where there are strengths and where there are weaknesses. So that is a very quick overview of how the TOMM tool works. Practically, what people in your business would see would be a link to the questions. They submit the answers, and those answers are sent to a nominated person within your business with the slide arrows also there, so you can review it centrally and compare and share as necessary. So I hope you enjoyed that little snapshot of our TOMM tool. Of course, if you've got any questions or you want to find out more or have a demo or look at the questions in entirety, there is a contact page or a contact button on our innovation fair or through our TOMM website. So thank you very much indeed.